Tony, what's a bigger concern right now, that your team's offense or its defense?
Yeah, I thought in the first half we battled hard. We were a little tighter knit defensively in terms of just rebounding tough, jamming the lane a little more, and battled. And we had a hard time, even though we got some good looks scoring. I think didn't have many points early, and then we just kind of chipped our way back to a 4-point game before the end of the half. And then the second half, some breakdowns hurt. I think the first half I'd have said, for us, solid. The second half, it was both. We couldn't seem to stop Wake off the dribble. They just kind of went either by us or at us, and boom, they were in the lane. And then even some of the good looks we got in the second half, we couldn't capitalize on them. So I guess my daughter graduated last year, and I'm done paying tuition at Wake. So I guess that they decided to take it out on us. So that was last year was a different story and different team, but Steve's got a good team. He did a good job with his additions, and then obviously I think with Efton it changed. It changes inside a little bit. They put pressure, but quickness at the guards, and again the young man from Gonzaga, and then the point guard. Miller can really do some stuff with the improvement of Hildreth, I think it is how you pronounce his name. So,
Great.
and Carr.
With Reed's size, is that why you went with Minor today in the starting lineup?
Yeah, I'll tell you. I thought, and again, he's practiced better the last couple weeks. Jordan has, and even though at the end of the NC State game it wasn't close, he played in that stretch, and those are valuable minutes for guys trying to. All right, because we're obviously searching to find personnel who can give us a lift, and just his maturity and his strength allowed him, and how he's practicing, he's getting used to it a little more. And I thought he really played as hard as he could today, and I liked that part. You always try to find some positive things, and yeah, early on he he could hold his ground a little more when it's Blake against those physical guys. They move him. So I was happy for the effort he put forth, and he has improved. And I think again, just from a sheer mass standpoint, he did a good job.
Have opponents been making a concerted effort to take away three-pointers? Not only IMAC, but the rest of the team. It just seemed like there were not a lot of open looks.
Yeah, I mean that's a credit to Wake defensively. They certainly can score, and they showed that they can play when it's not as fast of a game. IMAC, they're always going to be physical and try to take away his looks. Make it hard on Reese. Sometimes they're zoning off guys. That's challenging, and we look at some ball screen stuff, some off ball, trying to get space, and again that's a challenge. So we haven't been able, at least on the road yet, to be able to have a consistent two halves where at least we score enough, and then don't have those stretches where we get gashed, whether it turns in from a couple bad offensive plays to then the defensive breakdowns, and then all of a sudden it separates quick, and that's hard to overcome.
Tony, putting together the scouting report with the three guards Wake has, what went into the decision to put Beekman primarily on Boopy?
Yeah, we just thought he's so, you watched him, he's so quick at touching the paint. He really is, and Reese is our best we have at keeping the ball in front, and I thought he could do that. Now, last year, I remember we got in foul trouble with the guys, our guards did, because Wake, the way they play, they open it up, and they're always attacking hard off the dribble. But we just thought that was a matchup, and, again, at times it would be different ones, but we thought your point of attack, if you can keep at least the point guard out, because he's usually attacking, but that's the thing with Wake. They've got guys who can use ball screens, roll. They can go inside, outside, and all three of them are good at getting into the lane. Hildreth's strong, and Salas is real quick. So they put pressure on all three of those positions. All three are capable shooters, and then the size inside. So that's you better be on point, or they're tough to beat.
Were you seeing anything from Wake Forest guards specifically on the defensive end against Reese and McNeely?
I thought they did a good job. They were physical. They got into them. If we didn't set a good screen or we didn't set them up, they guarded us tough and hard, and they made them earn. And when we got a couple good looks, it was tough because they really pressure when you have that kind of size in the lane. You can sometimes force them off, and there's a 7-footer with some shot blocking and size there, and either you got to hit the mid-range or make the next pass. Unless you're so gifted, finishing over at the rim is a challenge. So that allows, whenever you have that kind of backline support, you can press up, and if a guy gets by you or a breakdown, there's help there, and that's noticeable.
Time for two more, Greg, and then Ed.
Wake went up 37-23 early in the second half there after the three. You called timeout. Are you still encouraged by what you're seeing in those team settings? Guys still trying to get through it, push through it, and get that
Yeah.
win, even though it's been a struggle?
No,
for you guys?
that's what I said after the game. I said, look, I said anybody can have a good culture and good team character and buy in when you're successful. This is the time when you're struggling and you're getting humbled. Will you have a good team culture? Will you show character? Will you show up on Monday and work as hard as you can? And we keep figuring out stuff as coaches, as players. And either you're about what we value in our program, you're legitimately humble because we're getting humbled, and you're going to be passionate and competitive and stay unified and serve each other. And then, as much as it stinks, thankful for what this is teaching you, because it's teaching valuable stuff. Either you're about that or you're not. And it's really easy to do it. For a number of years, it's been easy. There might have been a tough loss here or there at a certain time, but this is the time. And that's why I talk about don't grow weary in doing good, for in due time. And I don't know when that due time is. Is it the next game? Is it down the road? You'll reap a harvest. And this is pouring into all of us what we're about, our perspective, how we go about it. Are we going to hang our head? Are we going to talk? You'll hear stuff. You just keep plugging. And that's invaluable. And I know we're judged on wins and losses, but in the long run, there's a bigger picture going on. And you find out what your identity's about, but you find out what your culture is in these times. They're our boys. They're good young men. And we just fight through it together and figure this out, and we'll see what happens.
Last one, Ed.
When Reese picks up his second foul latter part of the first half, and then number 3 comes early in the second half, what impact did that have on your team, especially in terms of trying to get the right lineup on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, Reese obviously is so important. And I put him back in with 2 fouls. Usually we don't, but I just thought we have to try to stay attached. And I thought we did a good job, and we got it to 4, as I said, and then came in the second half. And then when he picked up the third, he's real important. And again, as hard as and challenging as this is, it was so good for his ability to have to do tough things in tough settings. So when he's not on the floor, obviously that's a high-quality player who's got a ton of experience. It puts more pressure on us, but again, they credit to them the way they guarded, and they took advantage of our mistakes and then scored in a variety of ways. When you look at the stat sheet, obviously they can come at you in different 21, 14, 12, 9 point. A lot of guys can get double digits. Yep.